Happy New Year! Living Pain here. We are now into 2021. And it's probably, I think, based on what I'm seeing, COVID, vaccine, all that sort of stuff, I think it's probably going to be similar to what we have right now till around June, July. I hope it's earlier, and I hope the vaccines work and all that sort of stuff. I just got back from my mini vacation. Alice and I flew to Vancouver and spent basically, I think, 3 full days and then, part of a day when we flew there. We had a little bit of a scare when we left. We got into the truck and went to start it, and all of a sudden it was like coughing and started smelling like oil, and it could hardly move, and I just somehow was able just to get it out of the garage and stop it, because our truck, we think, has an engine problem. We love this truck. We bought it about a year and a half ago, this Hyundai 2016 Tucson. Love it. Great styling, perfect size, just love this truck. Quick backstory is, I guess about a year, or once we got it, we went for a road trip in August for a week or two, and we drove all the way out to Eastern Canada, all the way to Newfoundland. And we went in to get the oil change just by chance, and because that's when it's due, and Alice is a real stickler when it comes to car maintenance. She takes care of all that stuff. And anyway, long story short, there was no oil in the car. And the guy said, look, this is highly unusual, obviously, and we were really lucky. If we would have kept driving, we would have blown the engine. So fast forward, we go back to Hyundai and we talk to them and we say, hey, look, this is what happened. So they go through these tests that every oil change is supposed to bring it in, and they measure, and it's losing oil, but according to them, it's within the Hyundai spectrum. With that said, it's bothered us because we go, look, do we have a car with an engine problem? And we started doing some research, and Hyundais tend to have engine problems, which we didn't know when we bought the car. Anyway, so when we got in the car and it started coughing and all this sort of stuff, and the oil change was like, when we got back, Alice was going to take it in for an oil change. I thought for sure we just blew the engine. So on the drive to the airport at 7 in the morning or 6:30 in the morning, we're sitting there going, wow, what are we going to do here? What's a new engine cost? Of course, you always think the absolute worst, right? And so as we're driving and going, you know what, let's put it up for sale, and let's see, if it's working, blah, 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 and maybe we just sell it because we do have issues. We go through all these discussions. What else do you have to talk about? And then, of course, I'm like, well, what kind of car would I get? And the only kind of car that I would get is a Tesla. So you can see in one of the videos, we went to one of the Tesla showrooms because I wanted to see the Model Y, which is the hatchback, kind of an SUV version. And I wanted something that you can put a bike in and things like that. Anyway, it's a beautiful car. And I was so close to wanting to buy it that I even called our local place down here in Oakville, in Burlington, Oakville, and they even have one in stock. And anyway, long story short, again, is we got back and it turned out that it was the fuel injector that was plugged, and they put in some new spark plugs, and I'm getting in the truck and it's driving beautifully, which is awesome. So I am definitely not going to get a Tesla. I'm going to drive this thing at least for a couple more years. I figured, let's drive it till it dies, and then when it does die, that's when I'll get the Tesla, and I'm sure the Teslas will even be better in 2 years as well. So anyway, that's how we kicked off our vacation. And I said to Alice, it was a good thing that it happened in our driveway and we were able to call an Uber, because if we're on the highway and that happened, there's no way we would have got on that plane. So we got to Vancouver, and if you've been following the vlog, since December 22nd, which is Alice's birthday, I went through some stats, and it's like for 10 or out of the 11 days since then, I have had beers every single day but one. And as a matter of fact, I put together a little spreadsheet, which I'm going to go over a little bit later on, in terms of how many calories I've eaten in these last 11 days, and by the numbers, how much of it was beer, how much weight do I think I've gained, because I've obviously gained weight. I stepped on the scale today at 210.2 pounds, which is like 26.8 pounds, which is like a major shock because I've been over anywhere between 30 to 34 pounds. Although, in all fairness, yesterday was New Year's and coming back from a trip, and you're eating pizza, and I'll go through that too, that the real weight of what I am, I think, won't show up until probably the day after tomorrow. So tomorrow will get a little better, and then the day after tomorrow will settle out, because now I'm like buckling down 100%. I've made a commitment that I'm not going to have any beer for January or February. As a matter of fact, they have this thing called Dry February. I just saw at the Canadian Cancer Society, where you can get, you're in this kind of challenge, and people can donate money that'll go to the Canadian Cancer Society because you're dry for February. So I signed up for that. Why not? If I could raise a few bucks, I will. And I should put a link in below if you're interested in donating money. Either way, and then I'm going to do the same for January. So the next 2 months, I'm going to really hunker down. I'm going to hunker down on my diet significantly. I'm going to hunker down, obviously not drinking beer. And when I show you these numbers, you're going to say to yourself, it's pretty obvious that if I hadn't been drinking beer since, I guess, summer, June, July, I would probably be hit my goal of 50. I'd probably even been a little bit less. However, you got to love life. You got to enjoy it a bit. I would say that these last 11 days I've been enjoying life way too much. It's like I need to go to the Betty Ford Clinic to get detoxed. It's crazy, but just a whole ton of fun. And Vancouver was great. We did a lot of walking. There's a park there, Stanley Park, that we walked along the seawall. I did a run there, and the run was good. The pace was fast. The only thing that was a big mistake that I did was I ran, I forgot that I've been dehydrated. When you drink a lot of beer or alcohol, you're dehydrated. So I think by the time I got to Vancouver, I'd been drinking 6 days straight of beer, plus you're flying, which dehydrates you. And one of the things, when you get dehydrated, your calves tend to cramp pretty easily. And so I was on the run, and as I was halfway through the run, and I'm making a great pace, all of a sudden I can feel one of my calves cramping, and it dawned on me. I was like, oh man, the night before it was like late night. We had a lot of late nights, just chatting and laughing, and so I got up that morning, and I really shouldn't have ran, but I wasn't thinking. So anyway, I did the run. I ended up doing like 6.5K, and then I stopped. I was actually responsible for the last just over half K, and I walked back to the hotel, and it was good, so it's been sore though. That's what I'm getting to. And then when we walked the seawall, it was another 5K. So that day I did about 11K between walking and running, and my legs got beat up. It's quite strange. So today I decided, we had 2 days straight where I hadn't done anything. So yesterday, New Year's Eve, travel, I didn't do anything, and then the day before I didn't do anything. So that was the only time that I haven't done anything. And in terms of, so now getting back at it, today was an hour walk, just over an hour walk, and then I decided at around 10:30 tonight to just jump on the bike and put in like half an hour, get the cardio going, that sort of thing. As much as I want to run, I can still feel it's in between the calf and the ankle. I don't know what you would call it, but I'm just gonna stretch it out. I've been drinking nothing but water right now. just to kind of detox and flush my system and getting just back on eating properly. And I can tell you, I'm so done with drinking beer for a while. It's like I'm beered out. So, and I figure, January and February are those kind of months where, you're indoors, it's cold, it's not kind of, fun time. So who knows, I might go January, February, and then go right up to maybe St. Patrick's Day or something, March 17th, and make that my kickoff for the summer or whatnot. But I am getting very serious about it. Even today I ate a lot better than I have in a long time. Talking about food, let me just quickly go through what I ate yesterday. So I had a total of 4,777 calories. For breakfast, had a ham sandwich at the airport. For dinner, we picked up pizza, some wings, and then snacks we had like caramel corn, ripple chips, onion dip, pretzels, and I had about 18 Coors Light. So that was our New Year's. So it was 4,777 calories for New Year's. I want to go through this chart for 1 second. Let's take a look at it. Okay, so I want to go through my holiday calories and what from December 22nd to December 31st, how many calories did I eat each day? This is the holiday season. We did go away for a mini vacation. So as you can see, December 22nd, 3,500. Then it was 18, I had a good day. Then it went, 4, 5,000, 1,500, good day, 3,000, 3,000, 4,000. So, it's pretty high. Now, what I wanted to do was out of these calories, how many calories were beer? So the 22nd, you look at it, 2,400 calories were beer. So without beer, I would have only have eaten 1,100 calories that day. This day was a light one. Was at 16 without beer. This one, 2,000, I would have been at 2,000 without beer. This one, beer was 2,000. Now, this was Christmas Day, so turkey and everything, so it's 3,200 regardless of the beer. Anyway, you kind of see the point that beer is a lot of these calories, and had I not had the beer, it was a lot less calories. So then what I thought was, okay, let's say just to survive, I need 2,000 calories a day. So when I take the total calories less the 2,000 that I need a day, here's my excess calories. So 1,500 this day. Now this one I was under. Then 2,000 over 3,000. That day I was under. And you see at the end, I've eaten 15,000 more calories than I need, which by calculation at 3,500 calories to a pound, it means that I should be up 4.4 pounds roughly. And I guess we're going to see what that is. I know on December 22nd, I weighed in at 206. So if I added, 4.4, I should be at 211. However, I think I was more around, on the 17th, I was 204. And I should be around 209. Like again, today I weighed in at 210. So I think the weight gain is going to be somewhere in between here, one of these numbers. What's interesting though, is let's say I had drank no beer, like none. I took all those calories out. Without the beer, I would have been in a deficit and I actually would have lost 1.3 pounds, even though I had a big Christmas dinner. But over that same 11-day spread, I would have lost 1.3 pounds. Instead, I'm going to have gained 4.4 pounds, I think, roughly. So I found those numbers pretty interesting. It shows just with minor adjustments, taking away beer, and even if I was just eating all the same foods, that I would actually be losing weight. So moving into this new year in these next, 8 to 10 weeks, my plan is to keep the calories for sure under 2,000. And, today I kept it under 2,000. I'll go through it tomorrow, but there's so much candy and sweets and things like that we have in the house from Christmas. And so I've been having some of those, or I did today, but very small amounts. With that said, to really maximize these next 10 weeks, I really would need to stay away from anything that's going to spike my blood sugar, like candy and things like that. So it's gonna need some discipline. And I know if I just stick these next 10 weeks, ideally I'd love to be around 1,400 calories. Then I know that I would lose within the next 10 weeks probably at least 10 pounds, maybe as many as 12 to 15, which would put me almost at my goal. So that's the plan on that. Also, being the year-end Zwift, which is, or not Zwift, sorry, Strava, which is one of the apps that I use to keep track of how much distance and training and all that I do. So I'll just pop it up here. You can see last year, according to them, I did 273 days of being active for a total of 313 hours, of which the distance was 4,000, almost 4,100 kilometers, and elevation gain, biking, etc., was 28.9 thousand. Well, how come I can't talk? 28,902 meters, which I thought was pretty interesting, considering I started this journey roughly around March, I want to say 17th or something. No, it might have been a little later than that. Might have been closer to April. Anyway, so you had last year, January, February, March. I really didn't do that much. So to be able to do 273 days from, kicking into gear near the end of March was pretty good. I was surprised by it. I didn't realize that I had done 273 days and 300 hours, and then if I add in how much time I spent filming and editing video, there's probably another 400 hours. It's amazing in terms of, but I will say for those who may be doing their own vlog or thing like this, what I find really gratifying about these videos is that it really helps me keep on track, because when I have to rewatch myself working out, it kind of, and edit it up with some music, it kind of inspires me myself, like, okay, good, and then the other thing is the accountability factor, when I know people are watching it, and I also look at it, as strange as this sounds, I go, like, don't eat, because then you got to edit, you got to make sure you have that food shot, and just putting the food shots in is like a bit of work unto itself, because you got to always remember to videotape the food, and then half the time I'm halfway through my food, so that's why you see some of these plates that look like the dog ate half of it. It's because I I forgot to videotape it. The other pleasant surprise I had when I got home, I guess while we were away, my son he's kind of converting part of the garage into a little bit of a fitness thing for himself. And he put up a pull-up bar that also has a dip station. You can see it here in the picture. And also, like, it's multifunctional. So he's drilled it all into the wall. It looks great. He's just got a couple more things to do. I'm definitely going to use it. I know that was one of the things when I bought these home weights, because I'm going to get rid of my membership, was that I thought, man, it would be great to just have a dip bar where you could do dips, or like do ab work where you're sitting there and you can pull your abs up and stuff like that. So in terms of what can I say, it's a new year, and I think it's amazing this last year's went by. It kind of went by quick, and I know that a lot of people with the COVID stuff, it's really changed a lot of things. For me, I've been fortunate enough that it's changed things for the better, because it scared me into losing 30 pounds, 35 pounds, and now it's basically 27 pounds, but that'll be back to 30 soon, hopefully. And but yeah, it's one of those things that I'm ready for it. I'm sure we all are. We're all ready for it to be over, and hopefully it will soon. And yeah, so here's a little video of my walk today and my Zwift bike ride, my first of 2021. Enjoy. hope you enjoyed that. You know what? Nothing like getting off on the right foot and starting the new year off right. And we're back to my old commentary vlog posts, so I'm not sure, maybe you like the ones where I didn't do any talking. It's okay if you don't. I won't take offense. Anyway, over and out. Living pain. Have a good one. See you tomorrow.